Hello everybody, today we'll be doing longest consecutive sequence. We will be doing the umpire method to solve this problem. Give me a moment and I will come back with that. Alright, here we go. So first things first, let's understand the problem. Given an unsorted array of integers, nums, return the length of the longest consecutive sequence. So that means what we're looking for in this particular array is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the longest. However, we must write this algorithm in O of n time. Okay, that means that sorting is out. So what are some clarifying questions that we can ask? So one thing to ask is maybe is the array empty? Could it be empty? And what if there are no items in the array? Well, I believe that there's no information here about that, but it is possible for it to be a zero length array. And so I believe that the longest consecutive element is 0. So let's just say that is true. Return 0 for empty array. Any other edge cases that we want to add? So let's just add the empty edge case. I think that should be it. Let's go on to matching. So for matching, we are matching for an array type problem. And that means that we are looking at the sliding window, 2 pointers, hash, and the last one would be, I believe, so 2 pointer, sliding window, hash, sorting, right? So we know that this is out because O of n log n, and also the 2 pointer and the sliding window requires a sorted item, so it's also O of n log n. So let's skip that and let's just go for hash because we know it's O of n, and let's come up with a plan for that. So the plan here is pretty simple. We're going to store everything into hash. Then we'll take the items in the hash and look for the start point. And then count from start point till while consecutive. Get the largest consecutive count, basically. So basically, here we start at 100. We see that it's the beginning of a count because there is no 99, right? Then therefore we can count from 100 on, and what we see is there's nothing there, so we can count from 4, and there's a 3 behind that, right? There's a 3 inside the array right here. So now we count 200, we see a 1 again, and we count the 1. There's nothing behind the 1, so we count the 2. There is a 2, and then we count the 3 because there is still a 3, and then we count the 4 because there's a 4. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the length 4. And for 3, we don't count because there is a smaller item, 2, and then for 2, we don't count because there's a smaller item, which is 1. So let's implement this and solve this problem pretty quickly. Here we go. Let's create a set. Let's call this our num set. And get our longest consecutive. Maybe that will interrupt with the function. I don't think so though. So let's set that as 0, and current consecutive is 0 as well. Then we do every item in the set. So that means for num in nums, in nums set if nums minus 1 in nums set, then skip. Otherwise, that means it is a starting point, and we can start counting. So that means we can set the current consecutive while num plus 1 in num set So while there's another number, let's continue. And num equals num, well, plus equals 1. With that, we can check the longest consecutive equals the max between the previous longest consecutive and the current consecutive. With that, we can return the longest consecutive, and we are done. Let me give it a pause, and we'll be back. Alright, hello there again. In for the review. So with a couple errors out of the way, I put the nums into the set, and I did the parentheses. Well, we don't actually need to do that, but I did that anyways. With that, let's put these comments into our code to make that easier to read. So first, we store everything into a hash set. Then we look for the starting point. So count from starting points while consecutive. This is what we're doing here. And we get the largest consecutive count right here. And we reset the current consecutive. With that, we have solved this problem. It has been accepted. Let's submit. We have also reviewed the solution earlier, as you can see. Let's check it out. So as for evaluation, it is going to run O of n time because, well, we only go through a loop once because we only check for items that are starting points. In the worst case, we check every point because every point's a starting point. And that's going to be n and n plus n because we check the next point as well in the while loop. So that's n plus n, which is also equal to O of n. Well, O of n plus n is equal to O of n. Otherwise, we also use O of n for space because O of n is going to be our space because we need to store the entirety of nums into a set, and they could all be unique numbers. Of course, if it was all the same, it would be O of 1 space, but it could be O of n. And with that, we have solved the problem, longest consecutive sequence. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you want more videos, check the link in the description below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.